Welcome to Your Good News. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. This is a show dedicated to nothing but things that will make you smile or at least help you find hope and faith in humanity. The world is a rough place, and sometimes we just need to hear some of the good things going on. From Colorado to Georgia to Michigan, we've got good humans doing good things just to make other people happy. Let's start on the trails of Boulder's Mount Sanitas, where Curtis Jones has become something of a legend. Mark Salinger has more on the simple motive behind his moves.
Boulder is a nice town.
How are you today?
Filled with nice people.
How's it going?
Doing nice things around nice places.
It is fantastic.
The word nice.
Beautiful day.
It's just another overused four-letter word when you can't think of something better.
I just kind of let it absorb in and
But up here,
stand here and look at the views.
There's no better way to describe Curtis Jones.
And I'm just being me, so it's nothing special.
There's nothing bland about Curtis. Around Boulder's Mount Sanitas,
What's your name?
Curtis.
Curtis, I'm Shannon.
It's nice to meet you.
Curtis has gained a reputation.
In the mood for a little present?
You're the hat guy.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Oh my goodness! I've been waiting for this all summer.
Really?
You bring a lot of joy, so it's an honor to meet you in person.
Oh, I was up here one time and someone called me the mayor of Mount Sanitas, and I don't know that I want a political title to go along with what I'm doing on Sanitas.
People don't always flock to politicians.
Nice meeting you, Emily.
But this mountain mayor has soared in popularity. On Mount Sanitas, it's not about his stance on the economy or global relations.
Just a random act of kindness.
Oh my god, that's so good!
Here, approval ratings are won over with hats.
First, I asked somebody, I said, what is that hat? I keep seeing them. Where did you get it? Because I'm gonna go get one right now.
Here you go.
Oh my god.
And it totally matches your shirt, too.
Well, there's a man who hands them out, and I'm like, crap.
I love it. Oh my god.
Hi there.
A Curtis sighting isn't guaranteed. Not even for the trail crew working for months up here.
All summer, I see people with the hats, and I keep commenting on it. And
The best way to increase your chances is to hike more.
you have to catch Curtis to get a hat. So
Like a hat from you in person.
you can't just go out to the store and buy one. You have to meet Curtis.
This is the fourth time today I've teared up. And just hearing your words made me tear up. So I know it's,
The hats are like everything else in Boulder. Really nice and not cheap.
I think I've gotten out about 1,000 now. I don't have anyone donating money to me. It's just me, and that's all I want it to be. I read somewhere that there's 300,000 people that come on Mount Sanitas every year.
So if you bought a hat for everyone?
That would be $6.2 million. I won't be giving a hat to everyone.
After decades of selling garden seeds, Curtis wanted to be the CEO of making other people smile.
Well, I sold my business, and I kind of felt like I had imposter syndrome, like I don't deserve this much money, and I thought, I'll give some of it back to the cool people on Sanitas, because this helped me de-stress during the pandemic, which my business was super busy.
Sure, it's just a hat,
That looks good on top of your bun there.
but the connection it creates means so much more.
I come up here, I see people I know, I've met, and even if we chat for 10 seconds, it's great. It's my family.
Be nice. Led Curtis to something bigger.
So selling the business, I didn't have purpose anymore, and this is my purpose.
Mount Sanitas changed Curtis.
And I get to hike up a mountain.
And Curtis changed Mount Sanitas.
What a treat.
To quote Mother Teresa, you throw a pebble in a pond and it creates lots of ripples, and I hope that's what happens.
It's not really the hat that people are chasing. It's about that feeling you get when someone does something
How you doing?
nice.
Good.
A lot of your cats out today.
Well, the fact that you just asked about the hats means I give you one.
Usually on your trip to the grocery store, speed is of the essence. Get in, get out, go home. But at a Publix in Ackworth, Georgia, people wait in long lines to see one particular cashier. Here's Caitlin Ross.
It's a full court press in Michael Masterangelo's checkout line,
We're freaky fast like Jimmy John's, right?
celebrating every customer who comes through his lane.
You have a great day. You come back and see us, okay?
This checkout line, these customers, they're his team
I'm just so happy to be here every day to work.
and his #1 fans,
Doing good.
always cheering him on.
They will wait 30, 40 minutes just to get in Michael's line.
Michael's mom, Dana, says her son is not just included at the Publix in Ackworth. He's celebrated for being exactly who he is.
It means everything. I'm so proud of him. Michael is a people person. He is always happy, upbeat.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Michael is intellectually disabled and has worked at the same Publix for 10 years.
As soon as I walk in the door, I look for him. And if he's here, it just changes everything.
That's why I want you to come see me.
The customers there root for him.
He's my buddy. He's one of the few people I trust.
Trusting him with their groceries and their donations.
I can't believe I did 31,603 by myself at my register. My personal goal is crazy, and I did that in 6 days. This is awesome.
Michael raised more than $30,000 for the Special Olympics from his checkout lane, and he's playing to win.
He raised more alone than certain districts in our region.
They knew who you were at the other stores.
Let's go.
General Manager Courtney McGinnis says Michael treats every person who walks up to his register
how you doing today?
like they're the star player.
Him being so genuine, like he truly cares about every single person that he comes in contact with.
Welcome. Have a good day, Maxias.
For Michael, helping people
is
the real win.
I love this whole community, and everybody loves and supports me.
If you wanted to learn about Grand Rapids, Michigan, you could go to a museum, or you could just head for a workout at the downtown YMCA. That's where the city's residents of all walks of life show up every single day. And there's one very special person who welcomes them all, making the city feel a little smaller and a whole lot more connected. Here's Riley Mack.
The downtown Grand Rapids YMCA has treadmills, has a track, has a basketball court.
What's up, baby? You all right?
But what this place has that others don't?
Hey, man!
That is Rodney.
I'm Miss Beverly. Morning. How you doing? How you doing today? Y'all have a good one now. Hi, Miss Bizrod. Have a good day. We gonna hate to see him go. We might have to hire him. What's up, ladies? How y'all doing today? You still drawing? How's the drawings going? I want to see him, okay? How are you? Hey, man, that ain't Michigan gear. What is that? Ida, you gotta get a treat. What kind you want? Pink? Ah, my girl.
You come here to weightlift.
Hey man, you're a little late today. No badminton today?
Rodney Guyton comes to uplift.
Is it? Happy birthday to ya. Smile as soon as they come in the door. They'll say, Rodney, I heard your voice before I even hit the corner. I am not only a cheerleader, but a fan of everybody that comes here to work out.
Rodney sees 500 people pass his desk every day.
You know that. You know that.
Which is why this...
What up, Brother Jose? What's up, Miss Lizette? Brother B, you out, Allie? I miss him. What up, Brother Tim? Oh, that's you, Brother Rich. This is Miss Beverly right here.
Is not in the job description.
How on earth do you remember everybody?
Actually, just taking time to get to know them. And then when you get to know them, the names come easy. You learn about their families and everything that they do. And then they become part of your family. How you doing today? Graduated to become a doctor. Young guy like that, man, just makes you proud. I worked at custodial for my first year. They said when I was in the locker rooms, I talked to a lot of people. And they said he needs to be at the front desk.
20 years later, in title, Rodney is the building's face.
How are you doing?
But more than that, he's the heart.
She's at Grand Valley right now. She is going to be a genius. I come in, I get to my desk, and I just start loving on people and greeting people and spreading love. That's my job, spread love.
Is there ever a day where you're like, I don't feel like it?
A lot of days, but that's what's so good about this place. I think I uplift them, but they all uplift me all the time. It takes a village, and I want to be a part of everyone's village to help them succeed. Zeus! How are you, my brother? I get to meet so many different people.
No matter who walks through the door.
All ranges, all races, all religions. How you feeling today?
The greeting.
Good, my brother, good.
Is the same.
I am beautiful, my sister. I go the extra mile just to help people feel comfortable, but in turn, that makes me a better person because I'm learning things I didn't know about. Regardless to what some want you to think, we are all one.
I've heard from people that come to this Y that you are the reason that they come here. What does that mean to you?
It's truly overwhelming. I might start crying. Little old me, you know, I'm lowest stature, but for other people to come in and feel that way about me is just truly overwhelming and a blessing. Love conquers all. That's it. Love conquers all.
The downtown Grand Rapids YMCA.
Good, man, Ariel. Good, my brother, good.
Where people from all different walks of life
just go ahead and scan in. There you go.
swipe in as a member. But it's Rodney Guyton.
How you doing today?
Who truly makes them belong.
All good, my sisters. How you doing today, my brother? Good.
Still ahead, animals. Well, you knew we couldn't have a good news show without them. Meet a chicken named Noodles, getting a lot of attention, and some gators that you might not want to snuggle. Welcome back. We all know chicken noodle soup can be good for the soul, but in this case, it's a chicken named Noodles warming hearts. Boyd Huppert shows us how in a small town southwest of the Twin Cities.
Time was if you mentioned chicken in Truman, Minnesota. Thoughts turned to the lunch special at the Casey's. No more.
This is Noodles.
This is Noodles.
One of the crew.
And these are Truman's Public Works employees who had their shop door open about a year ago.
She was out back
when a stranger walked in.
Something had been chasing her and had her tore up pretty good. She was missing a lot of feathers and she didn't look good.
Brent Brown and the others
were pretty familiar with the community.
Asked around.
Nobody claimed her.
Then a funny thing happened.
She decided this was her home.
Up front at City Hall.
Yep.
The clerk set about
That was Melissa and I.
finding a name.
I thought Nugget was a great name, but I got outvoted for Noodles. Chicken noodle soup, chicken nuggets.
All right, Noodles.
Then big, strong, hard workers
We say, son.
found their soft sides.
There you go, sweetheart.
Mike Ray helped feed Noodles. Then Noodles fed him.
In our skid loader, right there in the seat. An egg. Yeah. Went home for lunch and fried up the egg.
Noodles laid dozens more around that corner.
It's her way of thanking us, I guess. Anytime you're doing any kind of work, she's right there. She's got to know what you're doing. Loves being around people.
Free to leave at any time, the same way she came in. She hasn't.
She's definitely been a morale lifter for sure. Fire departments have Dalmatians. Well, the utility crew's got a chicken.
A hen with a hankering for surprises.
That's something. You ever see a chicken walk up the steps? It's a thing.
You gotta walk up steps to get here.
Very comfortable.
The highest spot in the shop, looking over her domain.
This is her place. She knows it.
Still, a working garage. But so much better to have.
Come here, sweetie.
Clucks.
That's my girl.
With your trucks.
That's my girl.
Boyd Huppert, KARE 11 News.
That's my girl.
Truman.
The Public Works Department contacted several people in and around Truman who raised chickens. No one is aware of any escapees. The workers say they didn't adopt Noodles. Noodles adopted them. Well, keeping with the animal theme, when you think of Colorado, alligators are probably not what comes to mind, at least not first. But when fresh powder falls, that's exactly where you'll find them, soaking up the sun in San Luis Valley.
When fresh powder falls in Colorado, few can resist the urge to soak up the sun. But some sunbathers in the San Luis Valley crave this.
Here, gator, gator, gator. Are you hungry? Yeah, none of them are super hungry. They've been so well fed this year.
Jay Young spends his day catching the rays with his friends at Colorado Gators.
Oh, no, let me have it. No. Oh, you got it.
Making sure they don't miss a meal.
They're very smart animals.
While the mountains in Mosca may not be the usual gator hangout, they've got their own sauna to simmer in even on the coldest of Colorado days.
The water comes from an 87-degree geothermal well. That's why my parents picked this location for the tilapia farm, is because of access to geothermal water. Water's 87 degrees year-round. So even when it's 20 or 30 below zero here, the alligators and the fish are just fine. Yeah, keep trying.
Even the old-timers can't resist those toasty temps.
This is Elvis. He's one of our original alligators. We've had him since 1987.
Jay says they got gators like Elvis. Could be both pets and garbage disposals at their fish farm.
As they grew, people wanted to see them. And then next thing we know, Denver Zoo called and said, hey, we've got a couple alligators we can't house anymore. Can you take them? Sure. So we took their alligators. Then Denver police called and said, hey, we just confiscated some alligators from somebody's home. Can you take them? Sure. Now we get them from New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Albuquerque, all over the country. Come on.
Jay says that geothermal well
There's the steam.
helps to keep both the water and Elvis's anger steaming hot.
Want a chunk of meat?
But some close by ponds aren't connected to the heat. So when the cold comes in,
No, the fog burned off. Didn't last long at all.
the hunt begins.
We're looking for alligators in the ice.
A quest that's routine.
Every year we move alligators from the colder ponds to the warmer ponds in the fall, but they're very elusive, especially in the reeds. Here it gets so cold for so long that if we leave them in the pond, they could die.
Jay and his team search until one is spotted.
All right, lift her up so I can see her. Plant your feet, pick her up by the chest, not the rope. There you go. I got it. Ugh. I'll see if I can lift up. And as cold as she is, she's still gonna bite. But very, very slowly, see? She's wiggling.
Get you into the warmer water, bud.
One warmed up gator, one to go.
I found the one in the other pond finally. And it is frozen in the ice.
The ice sends gators just below the surface, making them easier to spot and to save. The Great Pond Swap?
Yeah, that ice is at least an inch thick. All right, Conlon, start breaking ice.
A gator lifesaver.
I got her by the nose.
With some frozen fingers and major muscle.
Yeah, I didn't get hired for my brains.
To get this gal the prescription she craves.
You're okay. You're okay.
The sunshine in warm water acts like a solar panel on her back.
She's wanting to bite. It's a good sign.
Soon, she's ready to rejoin her cold-blooded friends.
She's a good girl, aren't you? Yes, you are.
Her snap coming back as she slips back into the water, away from the bite of Colorado cold.
They didn't live 200 million years by being dumb.
In Moscow, Rachel Krause, 9 News.
There are now 200 alligators on the property, and we're told that people in the area clean out their freezers to help feed the frenzy. Still to come, the 40th anniversary of an amazing expedition, how it's impacted the people all these years later, and a business born out of that adventure. Welcome back. This month marks 40 years since 3 explorers from Minnesota did something no one else in the world had done. Will Steger and his team dog-sledded all the way to the North Pole, unsupported. It took them almost 2 months, and at one point the temperature hit 74 degrees below zero. Heidi Wigdahl has more on the unprecedented expedition and how it still shapes all of their lives today.
In Ely, Minnesota, there's a spirit of adventure. A place forever connected to the top of the world.
The pole had never been done unsupported, and everybody said it was impossible. I really realized I could do that.
40 years ago, from his cabin outside of Ely, Will Steger set out to make history.
For myself, it was definitely a real monumental beginning of what I really wanted to do with my life.
Come on, come on. Paul Shirky came on board.
Good dog, Charlie Brown.
To co-lead the expedition.
That's enough. These amazing four-legged friends of ours, these Canadian Inuit dogs that power our business here and powered our expedition to the North Pole.
Ann Bancroft, a Minneapolis elementary school teacher at the time, became one of the final members to join and the third Minnesotan.
At the time, I'm like, oh, they're not going to take me. I'm not qualified enough. And I thought, well, if I don't try, I'll never forgive myself because this was my childhood dream of going to the top of the world on the back of a dog sled. I thought, 7 guys, not so sure about that one, but hey, I would have been fine if they said no. I would have gone on with my life, but that trip changed everything for me.
It was a homespun expedition. All of Minnesota got involved in it. We were in the papers all the time.
On March 8, 1986, the 8-member team set out on what would become a 55-day journey to the North Pole.
We had 5 sleds. Each sled carried 1,700 pounds of food, and we left at 72 below zero. I mean, it was just like brutal. Ice ridges, 30, 40 feet high that we had to chop. It was a typical project I would take on.
We had limited communication. If something went wrong, there were slim chances we could ever be rescued. And there were many days when that was weighing heavily on our hearts. And then the next day, the weather would break free and clear. There wouldn't be any concerns about polar bears again. We would hit good sea ice. We could start making miles, and suddenly all was right with the world, and we were at the top of our game. It was a wild, crazy ride emotionally. I never expected that, but it was very empowering that way.
We were doing 18-hour days at the end, and we were really starved down. The other people had never really been starved. I've experienced it before.
During the journey, 2 members were injured and needed to be airlifted out.
It was physically absolutely grueling, but we all stuck to it.
On May 1st, 1986, the Steger International Polar Expedition made history with the first confirmed unsupported expedition to the North Pole.
It was kind of doing almost the impossible. It was no certainty until the moment we got there, and even then we didn't know if we had made it.
It was absolute ecstasy. It was our warmest day of the trip. It was 8 above zero. We hit 74 below on one of the days out there. Many of the days were 50 and 60 below. The dogs were howling. They knew something had happened. We fed them up what little extra food we had, and they were happy as clams too. And it was just a remarkably joyous experience to be standing at the point around which the planet spins.
A place they found themselves at by sextant. The instrument helps navigators measure the angle between the horizon and a celestial body like the sun or moon. Every unsupported expedition after has been done using GPS.
It was a time like no other.
Anne became the first known woman to reach the top of the world by sled and on foot.
To actualize my 10-year-old girl dream is also something that, wow, what a privilege. It was Paul who said, we were maybe 5 days from the pole. You've got to get ready because it's going to be crazy when you return. I remember thinking, I don't know what you're talking about.
Always wanted to do it first, but I didn't know that there were any left.
It's always good to come back to Minnesota. It was a moment of our lives.
40 years ago, none of us on the North Pole team had any idea what would all spin out of this.
Paul, along with his wife Sue, own Wintergreen Dog Sled Lodge in Ely.
Everybody on that team, I think, would agree that experience was so powerful, it just set the stage for the rest of our lives.
That was our launching pad in so many ways.
For Anne, it helped launch her nonprofit, the Anne Bancroft Foundation.
We give grants to girls in Minnesota to try something new, an experience, trying to ignite the courage that exists in them, the potential.
And for Will,
I had no idea how long it would take. I just started building it.
It led to where he is 40 years later.
It's almost finished now.
Finishing the Steger Center, a place that will bring leaders together to help solve seemingly unsolvable problems.
I knew that the world would open up to me if I made the pole, and it did.
Because we got there.
I've never experienced anything of that magnitude since, and I think that's part of the draw that has kept us bound to that experience all these 40 years later.
An experience that put them on top of the world.
The Steger Center is partnering with the Minnesota Historical Society this June for a week of special programming at the Minnesota History Center. It will celebrate Steger's accomplishments, including that expedition in 1986. More information will be released on their website in the months ahead. And you can hear more about Will Steger's life in a special KARE 11 documentary that is streaming right now. Also from that historic expedition came a business that is still operating today. Heidi Wigdahl has more in her segment, Behind the Business.
2026 marks 40 years since the 1986 Steger International North Pole Expedition. And all these decades later, its impact lives on, especially in Ely, Minnesota. Every business has to start somewhere. For Wintergreen Northern Wear, It began on an international stage.
My husband, Paul Shirky, was asked by Will Steger to join him on the International North Pole Expedition. Those two asked me if I could make the clothing for them.
Besides 8th grade home ec,
I said, okay.
Susan Hendrickson Shirky did not know how to sew.
I sewed until 8 o'clock that morning when they all got on that plane.
But over the course of 3 years, she designed and sewed everything from the clothing to the dog harnesses.
I didn't have patterns. I didn't know what I was doing. I was always getting their feedback on what was good, what wasn't.
It's also when Sue made her first anorak.
This is it.
Worn by her husband, Paul.
I got to go to the Arctic with Will and Paul several times, and I noticed the anorak that all the Inuit people in the North were wearing, and I was just fascinated with that. My background is Scandinavian, so I thought, well, let's just put some trim on it, you know.
Decades later,
this is a vest.
The clothing is still made in-house.
It's really fun to see our stuff out in the world.
But there's no set pattern.
People get really passionate about their garment.
Sue sold Wintergreen in 2009. The new owners went out of business in 2013.
I had to start up from scratch. I was so emotional, so I bought pieces back.
In 2015, Wintergreen was back.
It's kind of like a family.
Having weathered the storm, in 2021, 2 families bought the business.
Getting people outdoors, continuing to thrive in a world where there's getting to be more and more lower quality alternatives and really maintain that handmade integrity.
Jackson Heron, his brother, and their wives have stayed true to the brand.
They've already withstood the test of time, and they will continue to.
A brand that's taken its international start and stayed local.
It's nice that it has continued, because it is pretty special to have something made from people you know.
In Ely, Heidi Wigdahl, KARE 11 News.
That's all for your good news. We do hope this half hour gave you a little bit of joy today. And until we see you again, have an excellent week, friends.